Hey guys, Moldran here, and today I want to talk to you about the biggest achievements that players and gamers did in the Diablo franchise. Now let's start right with Diablo 1. Now in my opinion, the biggest achievement in Diablo 1 was made by a guy named Charwolf. And his achievement or his accomplishment was to create the best gaming guide or best document for a game that I've ever seen up to this date. Now, he created the Charwolf's Guide to Diablo and Hellfire, Hellfire being the unofficial expansion, and he just did everything in this document. You can see 170 pages full of calculations and informations about like when people see Diablo 1, they think about a simple game, but this guy actually managed to turn a simple game into like science. He made the game so complex. Like he listed everything, like every single detail about the game would be in this guide. You can see like there's information about everything, what items can have, how you can move, how you can, and look at those calculations that he did. Like he actually used advanced math that goes even beyond my own understanding, which is already pretty high, to calculate, for example, cursed items, semi-cursed items, their outcome, recharge cost, and it's just insane. Like I've spent hours reading this document, and it made me like also like an insane Diablo 1 player. Like all this information helps me also in PvP or in playing the game. For example, how to use word, or when items show up, what affixes they can have. For example, a godly plate of the Veil as full plate armor was not able to spawn in the game. It was actually a cheated item. You were only able to get the affix and suffix on like low armor things. Same with the Archangel Staff of Apocalypse, but I think most people know that this is like another real one. And about monsters, like he also lists all the differences: damage, hit percent, experience, of course, each individual for 3 difficulties. And for example, distance, because Diablo 1 was originally designed as a turn-based game, also has like effects of distance and light radius when monsters triggers. And what monsters can spawn in different areas, because there's a set mechanism in Diablo 1 that usually you have like 1 strong monster pack in a level and then like 2 or 3 weaker ones. And you can be really lucky or unlucky with those. It really matters in the Iron Man challenge, but yeah. This guide is just insane, and I know a lot of people like think Crip is a big theorycraft and stuff, but what this guy did back in the days, like 20 years ago, damn. That's really like the prodigy of theory crafting, in my opinion. Good work. Now in Diablo 3, this guy Charwolf actually got named as a character here. You can see the Iron Wolf Charwolf. Now let's move on to Diablo 2. Now Diablo 2 in Classic was known for having an insane experience grind. Just to illustrate this in an Excel sheet that I created, you can see here, this is the experience, and you can see like in the higher levels it really takes off and it's exponential growth. But this picture doesn't even show you the full story, because Diablo 2 Classic had a system where the higher level you would be, or the level difference between you and your monsters, the less experience you would get. So what did this mean? This meant that after like level 91 or 92, the only monster that really gave you like a decent amount of experience was Diablo himself. So you had to kill Diablo if you wanted to gain any experience. And to make matters even worse is if you died in Diablo 2, you would actually lose a certain percentage, I think it was 5% or something of your experience. And at a high level that could be like hours, if not days full of playtime. So how did people, like a few select people, actually manage to achieve level 99? Well, there was the legendary race going on back in the days between Churwab and Ruswab. And they both reached around level 99 at around the same time, but Churwab would limit one. But what were those characters? Those were team-based characters, played by a large number of people and an even larger number of supporters. So here just an example of a few players that worked on Churwab. And you can really see there were 3 types of players. There were organizers, just like a handful of people. Then there were players, like a good dozen, who actually played Churwab himself, taking shifts, of course. For example, one guy 4 hours, next guy 3 hours, then one guy 5 hours, and so on. And then there were like a shitload of supporters. And how did this work? Well, this worked like this. A supporter would start a game, and he would clear all the way to Diablo, and also try to find an experience shrine. What happened next was that 6 other supporters would join in the game to make it 7 players, because the more players, the more HP the monsters have and the more experience you would get. And then at the end, Gerber would join in, quickly get the experience shrine, kill Diablo, and move on to the next game that has already been created by the next batch of supporters. So all Gerber would do was like, join a game, kill Diablo, next game, Diablo, next game, Diablo. 24 hours a day, taking shifts. And Raspa would essentially do the same, but as I said, like Gerber won. And just to give you an illustration, like normal legit players were like 91, 92, 93, 94, and then here in Europe there were 91, everyone, like 8 people 91, and then we have Gerber with Raspa with 99. It was just like impossible to compete with those play characters, but it was almost like the only way to get 99. There were a few exceptions though. What were other exceptional solo players in Diablo 2? Well, those of you that played Diablo 2 Classic like me probably know most of them. There was Winwood, which I think was a legendary Necromancer player. There was also Belid MKV, I think it was a Czech player, I'm not 100% sure, Slovak, yeah. But I actually supported him as well. I joined his game a lot and helped him clear with my Java zone. He was actually playing an Amazon with a bow. And then there's of course also DK Shade, and he's also special because he actually had 3 really high characters. A 99, he was a sorceress expert with a 99, a 98, and then a 96 in hardcore. And everything is legit, which was really worth a lot back then. Because nowadays people just bought in Diablo 2. But yeah, those were the achievements in Diablo 2. But what else do we have? We have speedrunning. Now in Diablo 2 there is a... Speedrunning is usually done most in games like Super Mario or Zelda games or JRPGs. But what people don't know is that there's also a big speedrunning community in Diablo 2, where people try to clear the game as fast as possible. And what's also worth, and for example, like they cleared Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction in just 1 hour 16 minutes, but would take a normal player like 10 to 20 hours. And even more impressive is in Hell, like they do normal mode, Nightmare and Hell in 4 hours. Now, who are the impressive players here? Well, the most known are probably Mr. Lama SC and RioQuestacotl, because they are famous streamers that also attend some live competitions and stuff. But what's also impressive, even more impressive, is that there's one guy that actually holds the record in each single category. You can see like he has the world record for 80%, 80% hardcore, 80% hell, and 80% hell hardcore. Now obviously there's a difference between the classes. For example, Sorceress is much faster than, for example, Barbarian. While the Sorceress record is 4 hours 25 minutes, the Barbarian record is only 12 hours. But yeah, speedrunning in Diablo 2 is actually a thing. Now let's move on to Diablo 3, the game that probably most of you played, even the younger generations. And what comes into your mind when you think about Diablo 3 and achievements? Well, I don't need to tell you, the world first Diablo hardcore Inferno Kill. Now this was actually done back in the days by the hardcore grip. You know, the hardcore grip that would actually, for example, progress in Act 3 Inferno when Inferno was ultra hard and like die to an insane pack and then just like slurp his super bit and create a new character and go. Keep chasing his goal. And what's impressive is that Blizzard actually announced to nerf Inferno at one point, and at that point no one has cleared hardcore Inferno yet. And then Crip and Crippy, his friend, actually managed to beat it before the nerf took place. So they were actually able to defeat the original Inferno version of Diablo in hardcore mode. And this is like was an insane achievement because it showed like what's possible with the right teamwork and the right attitude and dedication to a game. Because most people, including myself, we thought that it's impossible to kill it in hardcore Inferno. But you know, the old hardcore grip actually managed to prove us wrong. Now, what else is good in Diablo 3? Now, you remember when the Paragon system came out? I'm gonna show you this here again with an Excel sheet that I made. This is just list the Paragon XP curve, and some people made estimates on how long it's gonna take to Paragon 100.
If you level 10 hours a day, it will take you 2 years from level 1 Paragon to level 100.
And there was one player that actually managed to get that 2 years estimate, which was by the way done by a very respectable and famous gamer. He managed to get the 2 years estimate down to just 2 weeks. Can you imagine that? And I don't need to tell you who it is, because you probably know it's a barbarian named Al-Kaiser, known for the Al-Kaiser run, which was his way of farming experience. And now let me show you why this was an impressive feat and not just like something regular. Because look at this. This is gonna be insane. I actually made this Excel sheet a bit advanced and added some content to it. And now take a look at this. This here is Al-Kaiser. When you get 100 Paragon, the second highest after Al-Kaiser, the second highest Paragon was all the way down here, only around level 90. And the third highest Paragon was all the way down here, only around level 82. Do you see the difference between Al-Kaiser and the second, third, and then all the others who were going for that Paragon 100 world first? I mean, that's not like a close race like Raspberry against Sherbab was. No, that is complete destruction. That is complete domination by Al-Kaiser. Like he put everyone into their place during the race to Paragon 100. And I'm gonna show you also this here, because this shows it as well. Look at this. This is the difference between Al-Kaiser and everyone else. And there were a lot of like famous players like trying to compete for that rush to Paragon 100, to be the world first, to get all the fame that is associated with getting Paragon 100. For example, Nguyen, who plays Parflexa now, like he said like, I'm gonna get Paragon 100 first. He got crushed by Al-Kaiser, just like everyone else did. Like the average year of the people that competed were around 70, then there's one guy at 90, at 80, and then there's Al-Kaiser with 100, with like a huge lead. And why was he able to do that? Because he had found a method to get more than 30 to 70% more experience than what everyone else was doing. So even though people put in the same time or same effort as he did, or even more maybe, he was just much better or much faster because he had that route optimized. He was farming, he was gaining a lot more experience per hour than everyone else by optimizing the route, the farm route, the mobs that he's killing, and which items he picks up. And that was a big accomplishment because no one else figured this one out. Or maybe like a few people figured it out, but didn't have the time to actually compete with it. But I think really that out of the hardcore players, out of the people that actually competed, like he was probably the only one with the most efficient experience method, at least until he showed it on stream at level 95. And yeah, with all those achievements in Diablo games, last but not least, I also wanna say thanks to Blizzard North for creating the Diablo franchise. 20 or more than 20 years ago, they created Diablo 1, Diablo 2 afterwards, and built the foundation for Diablo 3 and a potential Diablo 4 in the future. So led by David Brevik and the Shiva brothers, I just want to thank Blizzard North for creating this epic gaming franchise and bringing us like thousands of hours of fun. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna stream today now and I'll be back. Thanks for watching.